Level 1. The invitation. You are 21 when someone finally saves you a seat. It happens after the closing shift at a neighborhood grocery store. The metal shutters are down, the tills are counted, and your supervisor, Marcus, points across the street toward a bar called The Lantern. You almost say no. You have an early bus, you have $43 left until payday, and you still feel like the new employee who asks permission before touching the tape dispenser. Then Marcus says, "First one's on me." Inside, the room is warm and crowded. Work uniforms hang from chair backs. Someone pushes a cold bottle into your hand. 10 minutes later, people who barely spoke to you all week are laughing at your story. Nothing dramatic happens. That is what makes it powerful. Your shoulders drop. Your thoughts stop arriving all at once. You no longer rehearse every sentence before saying it. For the first time in months, you are not standing outside your own life, watching it happen. The drink tastes bitter. The relief does not. You go home with a light headache and a new group chat on your phone. By morning, you remember the laughter better than the nausea. The next Friday, you buy your own drink. The Friday after that, you buy one for Marcus. You tell yourself this is what adults do after work. And mostly, it is. Millions of people can drink, stop, and go home without building their week around it. You do not know yet that your brain has made a private note. When the pressure rises, this works. Level 2. The routine. A year passes. You leave the grocery store and begin training as an appliance repair technician. The pay is better. The days are longer. You spend hours inside strangers' kitchens. While they watch you struggle with machines you are still learning to understand. By 6 in the evening, your jaw aches from clenching it. So you create a landing ritual. Shoes off, television on, 2 drinks, not to get drunk. You repeat that part even when nobody asks. The first drink separates work from home. The second makes the apartment feel less empty. On difficult days, a third appears because difficult days should not count against you. Soon, the bottle is not something you decide to open. It is part of the room, like the lamp or the refrigerator. You meet Maya at a friend's birthday dinner. She orders 1 cocktail, drinks half, then switches to water. You keep glancing at the unfinished glass. To you, leaving half a drink behind feels like walking away from a running faucet. To her, it means she has had enough. You do not understand that difference. You only notice it. At first, Maya likes your evening energy. You become playful after 2 drinks, confident after 3. You tell better stories. You dance in the kitchen. You make ordinary Tuesdays feel like events. But tolerance is quietly rewriting the contract. 2 drinks no longer create the feeling you remember, so you pour them stronger. Then you begin having 1 before Maya arrives, so the evening can start at the right speed. You call it getting ready. The strange part is that your life looks better. You earn more. You have a girlfriend. You move into a brighter apartment. Your friends say you seem more confident. Nobody can see the small calculation beginning behind your eyes. How long until you can drink? How much is left at home? Will anyone notice if you have one first? Level 3. The tool. At 27, you become one of the best technicians in the company. Customers request you by name. You can diagnose a broken compressor by sound. Your manager gives you a van, a fuel card, and a route across 3 towns. Now you work alone. The privacy feels like a promotion. A bottle begins traveling in your tool bag. At first, it is for the end of the day. Then it becomes insurance for the afternoon. A small swallow before a difficult customer. Another after an argument with dispatch. You discover something dangerous. Alcohol does not only help you relax. For a while, it helps you perform. Your hands feel steadier. Your voice becomes warmer. Angry customers become manageable. You stop caring whether someone is watching you work. The drink is no longer a reward. It is equipment. Maya notices the smell once. You blame mouthwash. She notices again. You blame a customer who spilled beer near the van. The second lie arrives faster than the first. You marry her the following spring. 6 months later, the company names you Technician of the Year. There is a dinner in a hotel conference room, a small glass trophy, and your name printed on a screen. The next morning, the trophy is on your kitchen counter. You remember arriving at the hotel. You remember the first toast. You do not remember walking onto the stage. A coworker sends you a video of your acceptance speech. You watch yourself thank the wrong manager, lose your place, and turn the mistake into a joke. The room laughs. You laugh too. Then you delete the video. When Maya says you frightened her on the drive home, you blame the open bar, the empty stomach, and the excitement of winning. The explanation works because each piece sounds reasonable. That is how the problem survives. It hides inside excuses that are true in small amounts. Level 4. The double life. Your daughter Nora is born when you are 30. For 3 days, you do not think about drinking. You hold her in a hospital chair while morning light moves across the floor. Her whole hand closes around one of your fingers, and something inside you becomes quiet without chemical help. You think love has solved you. Then you go home. The baby cries at midnight. Money gets tight. Maya is exhausted. You are terrified of doing something wrong, so you return to the one method that has never asked you to explain yourself. Only now you need rules. No drinking before Nora is asleep. No glass bottles in the outside bin. No buying from the same shop too often. No alcohol on your breath when Maya is close. Rules make you feel responsible. They also reveal how much responsibility the drinking now requires. You hide bottles behind winter coats, beneath the spare tire, inside an empty detergent box. You begin paying cash because bank statements tell stories. You keep chewing gum in every pocket. Your life divides into 2 versions. In the visible version, you fix appliances, pay rent, attend birthdays, and carry your daughter on your shoulders through the park. In the hidden version, you wake at 4 in the morning with your heart racing and walk quietly to the kitchen. You pour a small drink, not for pleasure, to feel normal. That distinction should frighten you. Instead, it comforts you. Pleasure sounds irresponsible. Medicine sounds necessary. At work, a younger technician named Eli jokes that you are never hungover. You smile because he thinks this means you do not drink much. The truth is that hangovers belong to people who stop. Level 5. The cost. The first serious bill arrives on a rainy Tuesday. You clip a parked car while backing out of a customer's driveway. Nobody is hurt. The damage is small, but your manager smells your breath before the police arrive. The company fires you 2 days later. No van, no health insurance, no reference. 8 years of skill disappear in a 10-minute meeting. You tell Maya the company was downsizing. She wants to believe you, so she does, for 4 hours. Then she finds the incident report folded inside your jacket. She does not shout. She places the report on the kitchen table and asks you to sit down. Beside it is one handwritten page. Missed school meeting. Cash missing from the grocery envelope. Bottle under Nora's car seat. 3 promises to stop. Maya is not building a case. She is showing you the life she has been living while you argued with every individual detail. The marriage does not end that night. It becomes a series of locked doors, a separate account, a separate bedroom, no driving Nora. No being alone with her when Maya cannot tell whether you are sober. You take temporary repair jobs, but customers cancel when you arrive late. You sell your expensive tools one by one. The socket set goes first. Then the diagnostic meter. Then the camera you bought when Nora was born. Each sale buys less time than the one before. Your world becomes smaller. Apartment, liquor store, bathroom floor. One morning, you wake with a deep pain under your ribs. You vomit into the sink and see blood. At the hospital, a doctor explains that your body is no longer quietly absorbing the damage. Your liver is inflamed. Your blood pressure is dangerous. Your nutrition is poor. He asks how much you drink. You give him the number you wish were true. He asks again. This time, you look at the floor. You are 34 years old, and for the first time, another person knows the real amount. The doctor tells you something you did not expect. Do not try to prove your strength by stopping alone. After years of heavy use, withdrawal can become a medical emergency. You thought asking for help would be an admission that you were dying. It becomes the first action taken by the part of you that wants to live. Level 6, Day 1. Detox is not cinematic. There is no inspiring music, no perfect speech, no sudden transformation. There is a plastic mattress, a paper cup of medication, bright hallway lights, and a nurse checking you through the night. Your hands shake. You sweat through clean clothes. Time moves badly. Every hour feels longer than the years you lost. On the second night, you hear a man in the next room crying into a pillow. On the third morning, you drink weak tea and keep it down. That becomes the victory, not redemption. Tea. After 5 days, you enter an outpatient recovery program. The meetings take place in a community center behind a public library. You expect broken people. Instead, you find a teacher, a mechanic, a grandmother, a student, and a man named Daniel who has been sober for 18 years. Daniel does not tell you to rebuild your whole life. He tells you to rebuild Tuesday. Wake up, eat, call someone, work, attend a meeting, sleep, then do Wednesday. Your first month is made of embarrassingly small goals. Answer Maya's message without defending yourself. Walk past the alcohol aisle. Return a borrowed drill. Apologize without asking to be forgiven. Daniel gives you a wall calendar and a blue marker. Every night you stayed sober, you fill one square completely. No speeches, no totals, just proof that the day happened. The first blue square looks lonely. By the end of the month, they form a block. You also begin saving every receipt from something alcohol would once have replaced: groceries, bus fare, work gloves, the electricity bill. At 90 days, you spread the receipts across your bed and realize recovery is already becoming physical. Food in the cupboard, lights that stay on, tools returning to your hands. For years, alcohol converted the future into a few easier hours. Now, the future is slowly becoming visible again. Level 7. The repair. You begin working for an independent repairman named Hassan. He knows your history because you tell him before he can discover it. He gives you 3 days a week and one condition. If you are struggling, call before you disappear. The sentence stays with you. Call before you disappear. You used to vanish while standing in the same room as your family. Now you practice remaining visible. The work is slower than before. Hassan checks every invoice. You ride in the passenger seat. You earn half your old pay. But at 5:30, you go home with a clear memory of the day. After 18 months, you buy a used van with a dented door. You paint your name on the side yourself. Second chance appliance repair. The letters are uneven. You leave them that way. Your first customers come from the recovery meetings. Then their neighbors call. Then property managers. You are no longer the fastest technician in town. You are the one who arrives when he says he will. That becomes your advantage. Maya does not take you back. Recovery is not a machine that returns everything to factory settings. But she begins allowing longer visits with Nora. At first, you meet in public places. Then, you take Nora for lunch alone. Then, one Saturday, Maya hands you an overnight bag. Nothing important is said. Trust returns in quiet objects. A house key, a school schedule, a child's medicine with written instructions. You stop making promises because promises once became another form of drinking. Immediate relief, future cost. You replace them with arrival times. And then you arrive. Level 8. The clear life. You are 48 now, 14 years sober. Second Chance has 4 vans, 6 employees, and a small workshop behind a row of hardware stores. 2 of your technicians came through the same recovery program you did. Near the time clock, there is a simple note: call before you disappear. No explanation. The people who need it understand. The first recovery calendar still hangs inside the door of your office cabinet. 30 blue squares, unevenly filled. The marker bled through the paper in places because your hand pressed too hard. Beside it hangs this year's calendar. You no longer color every day. You do not need to prove each sunrise to yourself. But once a year, on the date you enter detox, you draw 1 blue square. This year, it marks 14 years. Everything that followed grew from those first uneven blocks. Rent paid, tools recovered, payroll met, Nora's college books, and thousands of mornings you were awake enough to remember. At Nora's graduation, you sit beside Maya and her new husband. He is kind, dependable, and completely uninterested in impressing you. Years ago, that would have made you hate him. Now it makes you grateful. After the ceremony, Nora finds you in the crowd and places her graduation cap on your head. Someone takes a photograph. You remember the exact second. That is the wealth. Not the company, not the vans, not the money saved. The memory stays. Later, at the celebration dinner, glasses rise around the table. You hold sparkling water with lemon. Nobody watches you. Nobody congratulates you for not drinking. Nobody even notices. There was a time when you believed alcohol made you part of the room. Now you understand freedom is being in the room without negotiating with the glass in your hand. 3 weeks later, your office receives an unusual service call. The ice machine at the Lantern has stopped working. You consider sending another technician. Then you load the replacement pump into your van and go yourself. It is 10 in the morning when you enter. The room is empty, chairs upside down on tables, sunlight exposing every scratch in the floor. Without music and people, the place looks smaller than the memory. You recognize the corner where Marcus bought your first drink. For a second, your body remembers before your mind does. The cold bottle, the warm room, the sudden quiet in your chest. Then the owner leads you downstairs, and the machine is only a machine. A blocked line, a burned pump. 40 minutes of work. You repair it, wash your hands, and carry the broken part upstairs. The owner offers you a drink without thinking, then corrects himself and offers coffee. You take the coffee. No speech, no battle. No one in the room knows that you have just stood at the beginning of your old life and completed an ordinary service call. You hand over the invoice and step outside. The morning is cold and clear. Your van starts on the first turn, because the final level is not defeating alcohol in one dramatic moment. It is reaching the place where it began and discovering that the next decision belongs to you. If this story felt familiar, speak to someone before the cost rises again, and subscribe for more stories that place you inside the choices that quietly shape an entire life.